Okay, let her go.
Is that right? Okay, so welcome to our HSH monthly meeting and speaker presentation. We're honored this meeting to present the Our Lady of Mount Carmel Society. So the lead speaker for their presentation tonight is Lou Pantalone. And his story began with his family, whose grandfather helped build the original building. His father, who was a vice president, and for Lou, who's been was president for 22 years, and then president for the past 13 years. Today, that he is the executive vice president of AON. It's a health insurance company that he and Greg Morano founded and is now active across the country. So the society, and what we will hear about tonight, besides its religious significance, it's part of the fabric of Hammonton. It keeps Hammonton the way it is. On a personal note, as you may already know, and if you're not, you'll probably hear tonight, is that the original procession of the Lady Mount Carmel began on Pine Road, and where they gathered there and had a religious expression there, and then continued down on Pine Road. And when they got to the end of Pine Road was the White Horse Pike. And there they walked, and the first farm they would come to on the left-hand side would be the Parkhurst family and their farm. And my family, to honor and to respect their new friends, for all to see, flew the flag of Italy. So with that, I want to introduce our speaker for the evening, lead speaker from this evening, Lou Pantalone.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parkhurst. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having us here. It's very important. I'm not the lead speaker. I got my little brother. He's going to do it. And my cousin, Lou Pantalone. So you're surrounded by Pantalones tonight. It's an honor. It's a tradition that, like Mr. Parkhurst said, has brought a lot to the community and into the town. And just camaraderie, notoriety, and just a great expression of our faith and who we are as individuals in the town of Hammonton. So again, it's really nice to be here tonight, and without any further ado, I'm going to let Joey take over, and feel free to ask questions. Just don't ask any of them to me or Lewis, just ask them. No, only kidding. But thank you very much.
I always introduce myself as Lou's brother. I have a t-shirt to commemorate that. Lou's been officer for many years. My cousin's very actively involved. I'm a member on double secret probation. So we'd like to start with why we're doing this. We have now formulated an organization called the Preservation of Our Lady Mount Carmel Festival. And the reason we're doing that is because we're kicking off our 150th anniversary this year. Longest running festival, Italian festival in the United States. So with that, why are we doing this? I just explained. We're trying to do this because if we're going to go big time, which we're trying to do this year, we need funds. And if you're going to donate or dedicate funds from a corporate sponsor, obviously they're looking to be able to write that off. And a corporation called a 501c3 designation, which we got earlier this year, allows whoever is going to participate and be a named sponsor or contributor, they get that designation. Next slide, Lou. Okay. So as I said, we're forming this nonprofit organization. Therefore, for that reason, and those folks that would want to participate financially can do so and have a benefit as such. Okay, so our goal doing this, and one of the prerequisites of having this corporation formed is educating the public. And we had to go on tour, which we've been doing since last year. We've hit every civic group, and thank you. We didn't think of you, and you thought of us. So we're here to make this presentation to a number of you who know our history, but believe it or not, you may not know everything. And when we did this research, we were enlightened a little bit as well. So we have information that's going to be on our website. We have some handouts here. And as we go forward, there'll be a lot more social media presentations of what we're going to be doing in this year that we're in now. So the history. Next slide. Okay. Obviously, the feast day, as you all know, it is July 16th. It became an official Catholic holiday in the 14th century. We followed the Carmelite order, which were basically hermits, and they were said to be barefoot, suffering, and wore brown robes. And if you know our uniforms, we have a tendency to have those colors. And if you go back to the history of the procession, what did the people do who were very dedicated? Walk barefoot through the procession. Traditionally, Mary is said to have been given a brown scapular by a Carmelite priest. His name is Simon Stock. If you look at our scapulars, the front is the Blessed Mother, the back is St. Simon Stock. And the commemoration of wearing the scapular is if you wore it, you were to be safe. Sorry?
Should you pass away?
You could be safe while you're living too. He's here all week, I gotta tell you. Okay. So the festival began on July 16th, 1875 at 232 Pine Road, and that's the house that the Capellas lived in. And although that house is not there, if you ride by Pine Road, which is maybe the next slide. Okay, let me go to the Founding Fathers. We had 3 Founding Fathers, there were more, that celebrated the feast on Pine Road. Antonio Capelli, Emmanuel Persico, and Luigi Votto. They are considered our Founding Fathers back then. And what they did, and you know the history, why did they do that? Well, they were celebrating the success of their voyage to this land and the success of the harvest and the crops and finding a territory that they found as home. So that's what started. And if you go by Pine Road, maybe that's the next slide. Okay, not yet. It's been a while since I did this. Okay. We have a statue now, but the first pilgrimage was with carrying this actual photo, and they processed this through the fields on Pine Road. And if you go by Pine Road, and I hope this is the next slide. Here we go, okay. We have a commemorative monument there that we take part of our history, and every 16th of July, that's one of the first things we do. We go out there, we pay homage to the tradition and also to our deceased members, which obviously we're very traditionally oriented because all of our parents, grandparents, and family members from all the members are commemorated at this monument. So interesting enough, as Mr. Parkhurst said, the feast began on Pine Road. In 1886, it moved to Hammonton Lake Park. And essentially, there were interesting parts that was through the 1800s, and a lot of the Italian descents congregated not only on Pine Road, but to go special, they came here and made it a larger feast. And this is what you could kind of see through the article here. It was written up in the Republican at that time in 1884. So next slide. 1887, First Catholic Church was built where it stands now. But this is actually the third church on that site, St. Joe. I'm sorry, am I in your way? And so the important part about the Mount Carmel Society is we are independent of the church, or in the diocese. Although we work together with them, it is our feast that has been perpetuated over the years. Good working relationships, sometimes not so good working relationships, but we have ridden out that storm, and everything's fine, and everybody's working together, especially this year, which is very, very, very special to us. So, 1925, populations of the Italians swelled in southern New Jersey. This is what was the 50th anniversary poster, if you could see it. The interesting part about that poster was it's bilingual, American and Italian. Today it would be American and Spanish. However, it was trying to mend the cultures at that time. Now, Hammonton and southern New Jersey was actually WASP. Italians were obviously minorities at that particular time. So as the feast grew, the statistics say there was about 20,000 people attending the 50th commemorative anniversary. We had fireworks back at that time, believe it or not, and we still do. Late 30s, you could see the crowd started to swell. That's a picture outside of the church at that time. Next slide. During the war, things were curtailed. The celebration became extremely religious. People came to the area because they had family members that they were very, very concerned about. They felt if they wore the scapular, they prayed, they honored those folks, men and women overseas, that they would be protected. So the 40s, during that era, World War II, it became very, very important for people to make this pilgrimage here for a much, much more religious region. If you notice through the years, these are our banners or badges that we wore. We do not wear them anymore because we can't get anybody to make them. So we've changed the uniforms. We got a little bit more modern, but traditionally, and you'll see during our feast, we will have a lot of memorabilia from our past, which we're very proud of, and this is just some of it. 75th anniversary, you could remember now, this is the current church, and there was about 50,000 people that were marked to have attended that celebration. That wasn't the current? Sorry. My bad. Okay. So just these photographs going forward are just looking at the crowds. Those who are of our era could remember how crowded it was. People came from New York, Baltimore, Washington, D.C. There were bus trips that they used to park in Crane's Lumberyard. Anybody remember that was? Huh? In Pratt Street, all over the place.
Bakery.
This is an interesting photo, time lapse. First Federal was on, that's now Adams, Raymond, and Hagen. But the important part of this photograph is if you notice the candle that one of the patrons was carrying, allegedly the larger the candle, the bigger the sacrifice. And people would do that just to try to show their suffering. And of course, in 100-degree weather, when you're carrying that, how many miles is it? 1.2, something like that. When you're carrying it 1.2 miles in bare feet in 100-degree temperatures, you're making a sacrifice. Okay, as we go forward, we're starting to see the crowds. I'm going to say this is somewhere in the 60s. That's my guess, maybe 50s, 60s. That's Lawrence Laringo Sr. to the left of the priest. I don't know which priest that was. Maybe somebody does in the audience. Next. Very important picture to Lou and I. Our father is on the right. Don't I look like him, they say? Okay. Then again, Lou looks like him too. So this is probably pre-64, because that's the old church there. Next photo. We're getting in color now, okay? My brother, point out my brother there. Can you find him? There he goes. He's a lot younger. But this is now in the 70s, and we're starting to get into color photographs. Still a lot of patronage that follows the procession. This is obviously coming down 3rd Street back to the church on the last leg. One of the most important things for us as members is this part of the day. When we take the statue out, it's a very solemn, surreal moment for us. It takes us back in time. It takes us back to our heritage. And actually, because of the previous picture of our family, you get a lot of emotional ties at that point in time. And it's very sacred and very important to us. Again, the crowds and how we end or begin is at the church, taking the statue out, and that's one of the highlights of the feast day. It's another important picture to Lou and I. This Lou. Back in the day, you can remember all of the marching bands that were participants in the procession. They came from Philly. The Rafa band locally was here. And our dad became very concerned that the participation and the joining of those traditional bands from Philly or wherever were starting to dwindle. So he had an idea, and he got together with Anthony Guerreri, a very prolific band leader during, I guess, the 70s. And our dad and he believed that to perpetuate the music culture, they would recruit music teachers from all over the place. They did. And that was in 1978. Okay. So to this day, many of those same teachers are still coming today. So we have a lot of respect for them because every time they come up and hug us in remembrance of our dad. So that was a very special time for us. Next photo. So we're going to give you a short video, it's a little expose of what the feast is all about in kind of a graphic form. Father Joe Capelli was shown there. He was our chaplain, member first chaplain. Okay, so we have a lot of things planned, and the year is now 2025. We've been talking about it for a while. We've been planning this for over 5 years, and as you know, time flies, and we're here. So we're going to have a lot of things commemoratively that we would like people to know about. I'm going to let my brother talk about what's planned, and the fact that you are here and interested, we expect to see you out now and live up to the feast day. Thanks, Joe. Took everybody's picture, so I knew it was here, so we're good. One of the things that we're going to kick off this year with is a spaghetti dinner, which will be on March 8th, I believe. March 8th, it'll be at the Winslow Manor in Winslow. Probably a good idea. Yeah, it's the old firehouse, right? So that'll be starting. You'll see tickets going on sale. It's a limited in number because we just can't fit that many people in there with all the organizations and everything. So when they go on sale, you can see one of the members. We'll be happy to make sure that you get a seat and get a sign and come join us. But at that, we're going to introduce this challenge coin that we've designed and had done. And they'll be on sale for commemorative reasons, as well as a Christmas ornament that one of our members' wives have made. So we're excited about that. It's somebody, each and every one of you can take something home in memory of this momentous occasion. In addition to that, on May 17th,
at the Carnival grounds. We'll be having a concert. Right now, it's probably, I'm not sure what time it's going to start, but we're going to be having Frankie Avalon, Fabian, and Tony Orlando will be performing there. So opening it up to the entire town will be, that whole area will be mapped out for that. And it's a little nostalgia for the town. Frankie Avalon, as you all know, his grandmom, Chicky, right, school guard. He still has family here. Kendall, the chief's daughter, she was just with him in Wildwood when he was here this summer. Fabian, Acco, Berlin. Our dad worked with Fabian's father at Owens. And they were actually invited, went to his wedding. He lived right on the jug handle. When you come off of 73, that brick house, right there, yeah. So, and then Tony Orlando, just a very good gentleman, has donated his time to be with us. So, very fortunate. We got to pay for Frankie and Fabian and another gentleman, but
we can't find Dawn.
we're working on it. So that's going to be another event. On July 13th, we will be having the second commemorative annual sandwich race. Okay, we'll be doing that out in front of the Sons of Italy. They'll have their spaghetti dinner. And then right after that, we'll have the second running of the sandwiches. So the Mount Carmel has roast pork and broccoli rabe and sausage and peppers.
It's not fixed, just keep betting.
And the Sons of Italy has the red roast beef and the meatballs. So last year, red roast beef took it by a nose. And so we'll see where it ends up. That evening, we have planned a 300 drone show, 300 drones, in conjunction with a firework display to be going off, and we're working to have that out at the high school. So another attraction. There'll be fireworks again on Wednesday night, and there'll be fireworks again on Saturday as we close. So quite a bit packed into there.
We all sleep all day.
Yeah, we're off tonight. From the religious aspect, though, which is very important to us, we're also, in conjunction with Father David, we've been working on trying to get a recognition by the Pope of the statue. If that does happen, this will be, I believe, the second one that would occur in the United States. So we've gotten a lot of assistance. We're hoping to get to 5,000 petitions. Fell a little short, but we have a lot of people that are really pushing for us to help get there. I don't, but you can go right onto our website and click on there. Oh, thank you. But thank you for all that did help us with that. Am I missing anything else, Louis? And the car raffle's back.
My mother's coming back to sell some tickets.
Get ready. That's the only time I couldn't say that. She did sell books when she was selling car raffle. That was the impetus to
If
get
you ask, we don't need our world books back.
Yeah, so there's a lot. There's really a lot, and like Joey said and Louis, we've been working on this for 5 years. I started this committee with a group of guys, trying to make sure that you just can't wake up. Those of you who plan events, you just don't wake up that morning and make it happen. So there's a lot that goes into it, and we're very blessed to have the town support and people like you that do come out and are interested and do care about preserving something that this town was very well known for. So it kind of stumbled a little bit in the 90s, kind of got a little lackadaisical. So we had to infuse it with some more energy, and thank you for all that assistance.
Okay, I give a lot of credit to my brother. He, as mentioned in the bio, 22 years as vice president, 13 years as president. It says a lot. And tradition is very important. It's not only our family. I mean, we're represented very strongly here, but there's so much tradition. The long goes.
Yeah, well, George Campanella, George and I ran together that whole duration, and then George finally retired, and that's when I took over. But you have the Fichetolas, you have the Tomasellos, you can go on, and Jimmy. there's multiple families that have been through the society and are still in there. So we're very proud of that. And it is truly a family-oriented organization. The wives, the girlfriends, the significant others. I mean, we can't do it. Our membership only goes up to 50. So you can only go over the 50 mark if you are a son of a member. Otherwise, we have to wait till somebody leaves or unfortunately passes. But we've been very fortunate. Some of the requirements: you must be a practicing Catholic, you must have your sacraments to be in the society. But we do a lot of other things to try to help the community out. We built a pavilion there, and again, working with the town to allow us to get that done. We do let it out to the civic groups, the carnival grounds. We use it anytime anybody comes to us. We're absolutely welcome you to do things to help the community, and that's what it does. So a lot of things during the year, we sponsor, needy families. We do scholarships. So it just doesn't, and we only have the one event. And weather is very important to us. So I think you all should go home, and if you don't have a Blessed Mother, let us know. We'll drop one off. Just keep it in the window until we get past July 19th, and we'll feel a lot better.
Okay. And one more thing about the organization. You're all in organizations. Usually 10% do 100% of the work. Carmel Society, it's usually closer to 99% do 100% of work. So we're very proud of that. And if you don't work hard, we got your number too. So anyway, next slide. I think as we said, this will be like no other one, and we want all of you to participate and tell your friends and your families. We'd like to see everybody out there because it's a tradition to the town. One of the things that you're doing here is preserving the history here. But we think we're very much a part of that, and we would like for you to tell the story to those friends and families that don't live in the town. So I think we have one more sneak video of what's coming up, if we didn't cover it already. You always put the pretty girls on the front cover.
You don't realize the amount of people that come through this town during that meeting. It's incredible.
I used to have a tent business. Lou built a pavilion and he put me out of business. Thank you.
You don't sound broken up.
And that's it. If you have any questions,
Something you want to contribute, a fact that we may not know about, or something.
yeah, if we are collecting pictures. We will have a commemorative booklet that's going out. Give a lot of credit to those who contributed to that. So we just thank you for the opportunity to spread the word. We got the Gazette here. Appreciate that too. Plug for you.
You mentioned putting the Blessed Mother in the window. Does everybody know what that is? Like on my wedding day, it rained and my mother put the Blessed Mother in the window.
Did it stop raining?
Yeah.
Okay.
But does everybody know that?
The significance of that is that anytime you think it's going to rain, or you take the Blessed Mother and you put her in the window, and she keeps the sun. She brings the sun out. Well, yeah. So if you don't have one, let us know. We'll get one over to you right away.
I just want to say, we can't find Dawn to sing with Frankie and Fabian, but I know somebody that sings Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, I don't think everybody wants to hear that.
They don't know that song.
Thank
Don't
you.
worry, you'll hear
Get
it.
up there. And another thing, my grandfather was in that band,
That's
as you
right.
know.
Yeah.
And
The
I have
Concertina.
Concertina.
Yeah.
If you want to borrow it for that week,
Okay.
put it on display somewhere where
Thank
it's
you.
safe.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate that.
Because that
Very
has
meaningful.
a lot of meaning.
It does. We have a picture of him playing it. It was the 100th anniversary when they were out when we dedicated the monument on Pine Road. He was there
Yeah,
playing it.
and they used to go to all the businesses.
Yeah,
in the
we still do
morning.
that. But there's not that many businesses.
Yeah,
Yeah, our
because I
day
used to
is-
live upstairs and they would come
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
Our day starts about 7 o'clock in the morning on the 16th, and ends about 2 o'clock in the morning on
Morning.
the following morning on the
Yeah.
16th.
yeah. It was
Long day
very,
for us.
very
yeah.
heartwarming.
Kath,
How are we gonna get all the dates that you mentioned?
we're gonna be publishing it. You'll see it. It'll be coming out.
It'll
And
be-
Lou, will that be on your website too?
Yes, it will. Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll make sure it's available.
My question is, I understand the 150th is so important and, you know, such a milestone, but what is your goal for the 150th? I see what you're doing to build up to it, but what's your goal that day to make it such a big day? Is it to have more people attend the procession?
Yeah.
I mean, you have a lot of people attending your concert.
No,
you don't even
right,
realize.
no. What I have done already is I've solicited any and all Mount Carmel societies and churches in the
In
country.
the country.
So I've reached out to them. I'm working with the Sons of Italy to see if they, in the state of New Jersey, to see if they will bring a contingent, just
Okay,
the
so that's really
representatives.
what it is, to make more
Yes,
Mount Carmel people come.
correct.
Okay.
There's that, if you recall, last year Bobby Capaferri was honored with Joe Flacco in Atlantic City through this Unico. It's an Italian organization. They're gonna be a part of that as well. So we're trying to reach out to as many people as we can in that matter of fashion, but
We
thank
were
you.
in the Columbus Day Parade.
Yeah, in
Chicky-
Philly.
Chicky and Pete, the guy who owns
Chicky, yeah.
Pete, kind of sponsored us there, or made us well-known, made a huge announcement on
Yeah.
Channel 6 TV. Didn't get our name right, but that's okay. My mother had something to say.
How many people come to the procession now compared to those 50,000 that you?
Yeah, probably if we get 5. It depends on the day of the week.
And the heat.
Yeah, the heat. This year was,
It's always bad.
yeah, not like this past year. This year was a real tough one.
You know, I remember when all the big crowds stopped, was when 16th was on a Sunday, and they didn't have the procession, and all the busloads.
Yep, they
came
used to
of
come here.
people, And then
There was
Yeah,
they stopped.
yeah, the 16th, always, it ran Monday to Saturday. If it was on a Sunday, you pushed it to Saturday.
Yep,
Yeah.
and all the busloads were here and there was nothing.
Yeah, they would come and I remember
And
pretty
they
vividly.
social
were
media.
coming.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yeah, I remember that.
And if it fell on a Friday, we were allowed to, we could eat meat.
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
Yep.
part of the
Got
history.
That's right.
sensation.
I just had one more comment.
Sure.
Over the years, even before I really even knew you fellas, like when I was first married, and my husband and I would travel different states, different places, far away. And it seemed like if we said we were from Hammonton, someone always said, I came there, my grandmother, my aunt, something, they always knew about
Yeah,
it.
that's cool.
It's
And-
pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty endearing to all of us here that are from here, to have that kind of notoriety, from people that you don't even know.
Far away.
Yeah.
We just had, Joe said we were in the Columbus Day Parade, and you don't know however many thousands of people along that parade. When we walked by, we had our banners up, and they're, oh, yeah, you could
Yeah,
hear
used
them
to-
talking.
yeah.
I was on the end, you could hear them talking, oh, yeah, I go to that every year, my father used to take me there.
So it's pretty neat to be a part of that. And again, yes.
I just wanted to say, I think you guys are great. Number one, when they say that they're helpful, they are above and beyond. They've always gone to the ends of the earth for anything that we needed, and I publicly thank you. I also think it's remarkable, 150 years, putting on events is not an easy thing. And I just can't even imagine the buy-in and the level of dedication, so I
Thank you,
applaud all
Thank
of you so very, very much.
Means a lot.
And the third thing I wanna say is, I sang at Fabian's wedding, so
Oh,
I'm.
stop.
I did.
Oh, stop.
I thought,
He got married in Berlin.
Yeah, right
I
at
was
the-
in the choir and I sang at his wedding.
Who needs Dawn?
I'm not the wedding, the marriage didn't. last, but I sang. I sang in his wedding, that's my claim to fame.
There you go,
I was
see?
the organist and I sang in Fabian's wedding.
Nice.
I was like in 7th grade or
There you go, put her on.
There you go.
There you go.
I'll sing, I'll be darned.
Yep.
Fortunately, you people know who Fabian is and Frankie Avalon. I'm talking to my kids and like,
Oh,
They
they
know.
will you please Google that for
We
me?
did the Italian class at Hammonton High School.
They don't know.
Oh,
Not
please.
Really?
We used to
okay.
love to go to Frankie.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's all
I was
good.
good friends with his cousin, he used to come over her house all the time, so
Yeah.
he was like just a regular
But
South
that's,
Jersey guy, you know?
that's why we thought it would be something meaningful
He's got a
to
lot
the
of
town.
family in this area.
You'll remember us.
Yeah.
Sure he will.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he will now.
But thank you.
I do have a question.
Yes.
You, all these years, you are an organization of 50 men with all these women who support you,
Yes.
including my sister who was
Yep.
the cannoli lady.
Yep.
And why are women not able to become members?
It's just, it's tradition and I guess the way they brought it to the forefront.
Because I know all those women.
We have an auxiliary.
Marie
Yeah.
Campanella, always
We're gonna start a
just
revolt.
working so hard all the time.
But you
have
side
the
by side
auxiliary.
with all
Yeah,
your
we have an
women.
auxiliary.
Yeah.
And we do honor them. We have a banquet just for them every year to recognize that. We do events, so we start in Memorial Day, we have a barbecue, and it's all the families, you know, children, wives, and we do all that cooking for them. Then we'll do,
You
we
don't
have,
mean to suggest that you abuse them.
no,
They work-
trust me, I know you know
They work
that.
just as hard
Oh, absolutely,
as
we
you
can't
all.
do it. We could not do it.
I remember
It takes,
my
it takes,
sister,
it takes us,
Lou's mom.
Yep.
My sister, and
Yep.
she just was, she was the
a
cannoli
staple,
lady.
yeah. No, trust me, we would not be where we are without everybody's help and participation. It's
Even volunteers.
volunteers, yeah.
That's my question. If you are not a member, none of your family's a member, how can we help?
I mean, there's plenty to do, trust me. That stand itself is, if you've never worked in a stand before, it's a well-oiled machine, but you're hustling.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Louis, what do you produce? What comes out of there a year?
He's in charge of the
We
kitchen.
do,
Yeah. Louis,
about just under 2,000 pounds of sausage, about 1,500 pounds of pork, about 2,000 pounds of French fries.
Steaks.
maybe- Yeah, steaks,
So you need cooks.
we got the counter.
we got, I got a team of 6 in the kitchen, including my father, who gets in my way a lot more than he helps, but that's, I always tell him, he's the smallest guy in the kitchen and he takes up the most amount of room. But, no, we got 6 guys in that kitchen and we don't have to talk to each other, we just know
They
what
know
we're
what to
doing.
do. I mean, the stand started in 1975. For the longest time, we didn't do anything but just run the carnival and the procession, obviously, but from a fundraising standpoint. So it started in 1975. At that point in time, you could still walk around with bottles of beer, you know, walk up and down. Go to-
Actually, COVID made us
more
better,
efficient.
more
It
efficient.
really helped us.
We, you know, how we used to
Yeah.
congregate there.
With the liability laws.
But the
Oh,
lines,
oh, yeah.
just handling the lines, making the lines, because of the stalls that we had to create because of COVID, actually, we didn't revert back to that, because it made us more efficient, so we had,
Yeah,
every
they-
year we try to do something to improve what was on last year. And a lot of camaraderie and a lot of consent. We don't always get along as an organization.
Especially by Saturday.
But everybody, you know.
I give Lou a Snickers bar every once in a while.
And it's beer, it's not a Snickers. But yeah, Nelson,
Yeah, I want to share with
Yeah.
everyone my favorite Carmel memory.
this is a good one.
In June of 1976, I got a phone call from George Campanella, and he was one of the officers. I don't know if he was
president.
He was president, okay. I was a member of what was then called the Freeholder Board, now the County Commissioners. And these 2 guys really make me feel old because I brought the subject up to them and they said, we were in high school. Any event, what had happened earlier in the year, and I think it was like after the first of the year, the local St. Joe's parish priest went to town hall and took out the required permits for the procession. And the Mount Carmel Society did not know it until they went to town hall asking for the permits. And you can put yourself in the position of the clerk. He's a priest. He's asking for the permits. Why wouldn't they give it to him? And when the Mount Carmel Society shows up, it's like, what do you mean you gave the permit to him? So the town was kind of divided, and mayor and council was very divided. So I get a phone call from George. I show up at the meeting, and I'm listening to the whole debate, and you can see who's going to vote with the society, and you can see who isn't going to vote with the society, and I'm not going to mention any names, because most of them are dead. Okay?
See what happens?
Any event, the mayor at the time, Russell Clark, the only one, he really, wait, did Steve DiDonato eclipse? Russell got elected 4 times.
I don't come close
No.
to
Any event.
But the terms are different now.
The mayor says to me, Mr. Freeholder, what do you think? Because here's what happened. They said to the council, if you don't give us the permit, there'll be no procession. The procession will be on Pine Road. And everybody, well. So Clarkey says to me, Nelson, what do you think? I said, if you think they're bluffing, they're not.
Thank you. But that we've had, and again, just people don't know. Everybody thinks the church started this festival, but they did not, and that caused a lot of turmoil. There was 4 different events that the diocese had tried to take the festival over, and we're still here and they're gone, because it's truly, we've done a lot to make this what it is today, and we still honor the religious aspect of it. It's fun, but that's the reason why we're there. When we get to that mass, as my brother said and Louis says, it's very emotional. You think back, I mean, God, you choke up, you really do, because that's how much meaning it has to you as a young person growing up. I'll never forget it, when my dad was coming, would leave in the morning. I was about 6 years old, and I was pestering my mom. I need a white shirt, because you'd wear a white shirt, long sleeves, roll the sleeves up, dark pants, put a badge on, and out the door he would go. And that was like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I would wake up and he's not there, and I said, Mom, I got to get down there. So she finally gave in, very persistent. Gave in and put a white shirt on me, let me go, and there I was, spent the procession with my father. But that's how you grow into it. You're just, it's an emotion and a feeling and a sense of a lot of people that care about one another and care about your community. So we're proud of that. And again, our family is a lot of lineage there. The Campanella family, a lot of lineage. Fusatolas, you go on.
And you have all
Cavutos.
the young kids take, like
Yep.
my great nephew is now a
Yeah.
member.
Yeah,
And
so,
that was the only week my father ever took off, never took a vacation in his life.
yeah.
But the
Week
week of the
16th.
that was it.
And still to today, a lot of gentlemen give up their vacations to be there.
You guys make, the Mount Carmel Society does make a donation to the church though, isn't there something?
Oh, yes, yeah.
They're very supportive of it.
Yeah, we do $5,000 at Christmas. We do $3,000 to the St. Vincent de Paul. So there's a lot of let there be light.
And all the money from the saints.
Yeah,
which is
yes,
the
that. Thank you, Marie. Yes. So there was a little discrepancy there. I'll tell you a little story about that. How many parishes used to be in this town? 3 parishes, right? So we thought that money should go to each parish. And when we presented that to, at that time, the pastor, he didn't think so. And we said, we really don't care what you think. It's not gonna happen. That's why we bought our own statue, because they had threatened to not let the statue come out of the church. He had told us that they're not bringing any of the statues out. But, you know, again, it's a little bit of trying to control something that they saw to be very beneficial if they can get into it, right, financially. But we just did not let it happen, and
But things are good now.
they're very good. Very good. Yeah, no, you know, unfortunately, I have the duty of telling the new pastors when they come in, we need to have a talk. Because I just want them to understand that it's, you know, no disrespect, but you can have a great time with this, we could all do well if we work together,
But
and we have.
yeah, but like I said, we're here, and then pastors come and go.
Yeah. So, but
Every
thank you
6 years-
again.
Every 6 years.
Yeah,
How the baby gets it.
yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, yes, Kathy?
You make a donation, does it come from the money that's on the saint?
That money, that's on the state, goes right back, we take it, and we used to divide it amongst the 3 churches, now it just goes to the parish.
'Cause it's one parish.
It's one parish now,
Yeah,
All the money that's on the saints?
yes,
to the church, yes.
yes.
It's not really like it used
Used
to
to
be
be.
when we were growing up. You remember the $100 bills,
Yeah.
you remember all that.
It's
not
there, you're
right.
probably, and we publish it every year, you're probably anywhere from 18 to 20,000 that will come off
Goes
of
to the
that.
parish.
Goes to the
Yes.
church. Yep.
Yeah, it used to be a lot more, obviously.
Right. Plus, we make donations throughout the year
Yeah.
too, for the holidays and things like that.
Food bank.
Food
Food
bank.
bank.
They use our ground, if you see it, every once a month, they come through, they serve a lot of people. Not only does the county use it, but St. Vincent de Paul does as well, so.
So none of that money goes to the Mount Carmel?
Mm.
Oh, wow.
Nope,
Well, the money you get from like the carnival, that's where you make.
that's, yeah, that's,
And your raffle.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah. That's our only way of supporting. It takes us, we have to have at least 2 years of reserve, because you don't know what happens if it rains. We can't control the weather.
Put the
And,
Blessed Mother out.
well, that's why
we do.
we're
In
recruiting.
the window?
Oh, we do. A lot of times we'd be calling for rain, and you come by, and we got a little statue about yay big, and we stick that thing right out there.
The one thing that does help now is social media, because before, if you remember when we were all younger and it's raining, if it was raining in Egg Harbor, you think it's raining in Hammonton because you didn't know, right? But it could be dry as a bone here. So now social media does allow people to understand what the weather looks like, and you know, that they can come on down. Thanks to, I'm gonna say, Cassie and the chamber, we started a shuttle system, probably this going on our 5th year now. And the shuttles are starting to really take on now, because a lot of people would not come because they had no place to park. So the shuttles run all day long, or all night long, if you would, Monday through Saturday, to allow people to get back and forth. So we have anywhere from 2 to 3 running at a time to move people around. That'll happen again this year. It'll happen for the spring fling, because there won't be any parking there. We're looking to do for the procession to rent a couple trolleys, at least one, to have the ability for some of the seniors that can't walk in the procession anymore, but they want to be there, to do that for them as well.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, so a lot coming, a lot of work. Yeah, we're doing a time capsule that'll be open. What did we say? 50 years, I think. Yeah, they'll do it.
By somebody else.
25.
You don't think you'll be here?
I'm working at 25 or 50, I forget what
I
we
think
decided.
it's, yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway, trying to do a little bit more documentation wise, so that those coming up will have it. And we are doing a documentary, that'll be displayed. We used to use them at the tailgates. It's a big, I mean, the size of the TV is probably the size of that wall there, and it'll be up high, and it'll be playing the documentary that we're putting together. So, and that'll be out, that'll be on the internet, it'll be through there, and hopefully we'll have the truck going through the procession as well. So, it's just more and more.
The news on every night at the carnival between 10 and 11, Sweet Caroline.
We'll be there.
That Lou, not this Lou.
Can we have it a little earlier, cause that's a little late.
Do a matinee.
Can we do it next week?
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
these, we'll leave out here, some of the information package.
Thank you so much.
But that's gonna all be on our website.